I, Poonam Mishra, Assistant Professor, would like to welcome you all in today's national webinar on the theme Making Research Visible on the occasion of Librarians Day. I'm delighted to say that today's occasion is graced with our well-acquainted resource person, enthusiastic participant, and dedicated organizing. I would wish to start today's webinar with two enlightening words about Librarian Day. 12th August is being National Librarians Day in India. This day is being celebrated every year in remembrance of Dr. Shayali R. Ranganathan, who had spearheaded library development in India. Dr. S.R. Ranganathan is renowned as the National Professor in Library Science and also as a father of library science in India. With his remarkable contribution in library science, all of us can see library as the greatest source of knowledge around us. On this auspicious day, we team congratulate all the librarians and would extend our sincere thanks to them for putting really very hard to make knowledge much more accessible for each of us. On this occasion of National Librarian Day, all of us must take this oath to spread more and more the values and visions of Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, we must take this promise from ourselves to put our efforts in securing and enriching libraries so that we and our future generation can remain be blessed with this greatest source of knowledge. With these enlightening and promising words, I now would like to proceed today's program and would like to request Dr. Kasturi Kulkarni to please play the Mumbai University song. I request all the participants to please stay muted and keep singing along with the audio and video. And you can switch on your video so that volunteers can keep on taking photographs in between. Over to Dr. Kasturi Kulkarni.
सुन्दरं मन्दिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरे विश्वविद्यालयम् इदं सुन्दरं मन्दिरं शारदाया मुम्बापुरे विश्वविद्यालयम् कलाशास्त्रवाणिज्यशाखा
PM, over to you.
Uh, yeah, I'm sorry, I got disconnected again. Thank you so much, Dr. Kasturi Kulkarni, for playing this Mumbai University song for us. Now I request to Mr. Ajinkya Kamble, our alumni and volunteer, and of course, he is one of the participant of today's program. I request Mr. Ajinkya to please play the over to Ajinkya. Thank you so much, Ajinkya, for playing this prayer for all of us. Now, I would request Dr. Asmita Hudar, Principal, Hashidwani College of Special Education, to please deliver welcome address to all of us. Over to Dr. Asmita Hudar.
You, PM. I hope I'm audible. Best Librarians Days wishes to everybody, and our dynamic librarian has coordinated this event. And thank you, Dr. Sarika Sawant, for agreeing to spend your time on this important day with us. Research, I guess, is adequately emphasized topic, and in Bollywood terms, I may say that box office hit every time whenever we announce any webinar, or whoever announces a webinar or a conference on research, then the registration is quickly done, maybe in a day or in a week's time. So I'm not here to emphasize the importance of research, because that's why we all are here. And all the regulatory authorities like UGC or university or NAC, or even our statutory bodies like RCI, NCT, everybody talks about research and assign high score for researching activities. So it's needless to talk about research and its importance and its relevance. It is extremely relevant for any field and for any development. But I always feel that there is a kind of lack of understanding when we talk about research. There are two angles to researching activity. One is doing research, and the second one is equally important, or I would say more important, is consuming research. How well do we understand the research? And more importantly, how well do we apply the research? So I'm sure when the regulatory bodies are talking about research, it's not only about doing research. That's maybe the first step. Yeah, we all need to do research, but we also need to consume research, understand research and apply research. And that part somewhere I feel is a missing gap. And today what we are going to see is making research visible so that it reaches to more people, it is accessible to more researchers and practitioners. Those who are practicing, are they consuming research? Are they looking into where do I find answer to my questions? That's absolutely important. I remember I'm a very old person, more than 30, 35 years. Earlier, it used to give us a kick in doing the research. So everybody, 30 years ago, everybody was talking about, oh, you must encourage, you must do research, you must do research. Then there was a decade when everybody was talking about publications and writing, Doing research is not enough. It should be well written and reported well, and you should publish it well. And now I feel it is about making research visible. We need not talk about doing research. We need not talk about publishing research. We all are aware how important it is. And if you need to get a kick out of research, it should not be doing research. It should be either consuming research or making your research visible. How many people are reading it? Or otherwise, like I have a feeling about my PhD thesis that I'm the only one who has read it. Maybe not even my supervisor or the examiner has read it word by word. I mean, that's very demotivating feeling. So doing research, yes. Publishing it, a bigger yes. But the big, bold, capitalized, uppercase yes, or reaching it out to others, and how can we project it well so that those who are looking for answers, those who are looking for further areas of research, or those who are practicing and want to consume your research do have access to that. So I'm so happy that we have our dynamic Dr. Sawant here, who has been always supporting whatever we do in our college, and an extremely good orator. So the objective of this webinar is to dive deep into the area of making research visible, how we can invite and attract audiences, whatever is their intention, and project it well so that many more do have about me getting satisfied that I have done research, I have published it, and I have enriched my CV, and I have got my API score on it. You know, it's beyond that. It's beyond that. It's about and reaching out. So without taking much of time, I think over to you, PM ma'am, and all yours to you, Dr. Saab.
Thank you so much, Dr. Udar, for your enlightening and first. You have given a well light on the topic, and now with this information, it will be more easier for us to understand what Dr. Sawant is going to communicate with all of us. Thank you so much, Dr. Udar, once again. Now to proceed ahead, I would like to ask Mrs. Misha Kuti, Assistant Professor, Harshadwani College of Special Education, to please introduce our respected resource person of today's webinar, Dr. Sarika Sawant. Over to Mrs. Misha Kuti.
Thank you, PM ma'am. Good afternoon, one and all. On behalf of Harshadwani College of Special Education, it's both my pleasure and honor to introduce our resource person for the day, Dr. Sarika Sawant. She is working as an assistant professor of SHPT School of Library Science, SNDT Women's University since 17 years. She has completed her master's in library science in 2002 from SNDT and was awarded her PhD from SNDT in 2010. She also holds a postgraduate degree in biochemistry from Shivaji University. She is a PhD supervisor, and under her guidance, one student has successfully completed her PhD while one student has submitted her synopsis, and currently she has 4 PhD students under her. She has 42 international and national publications to her credit. Her publications are in high impact Scopus and Web of Science index journals such as Journal of Academic Librarianship, OCLC Systems and Services, etc. She was a principal investigator in 3 research projects funded by various government funding agencies. She has received 275 citations for her publications, 1 collaborative book project for BRICS countries, edited 3 conference proceedings, 43 papers published in edited books, seminar, conference proceedings, and deposited 40 preprints of conference. Journal papers in ELIS repository, archived 45 presentations in SlideShare, which has more than 1,75,000 views as on date. She has been awarded the Attendance Grant Award on behalf of Asia Pacific to participate in International Federation Library Association Conference, IFLA, a highly rated library science conference held at Columbus, Ohio, USA in August 2016. She had participated and presented a research paper and poster in IFLA 2018, Malaysia, and has received UGC unassigned grant to travel to Austria for the conference. Recently, she was invited as a panelist on behalf of South and Central Asia to participate in a panel discussion on the occasion of ALA National Library Week, organized by US Embassy in association with 10 American Spaces in South Asia region. Dr. Sawant has successfully done 17 certificate courses from Coursera and 1 on understanding open educational resources from Commonwealth of Learning. She has represented various committees of university as well as served 25 times in her capacity as organization secretary, organization committee member, rapporteur, etc. of various conferences and seminars. She is associated with 14 universities of India in connection with journal and guest peer reviewer of the Journal of Academic Librarianship. Dr. Sawant has delivered more than 95 expert talks on various topics such as research, publications in journals, copy issues, ICT tools, and so on. I think we are fortunate to have one of the celebrities in the field of research. So a warm welcome to our young and dynamic speaker. Without taking any more time, I invite Dr. Sawant. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, so thanks a lot for the nice introduction. And you have now provoked me to speak about from bottom of my heart about the research visibility, because the research visibility has been in front of you through 275 citations and those so many lakhs of views of my slide share. Okay, so thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Let me first share my screen with all of you. So all of you can see the PPT.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you entire team of your college, librarian, and this auspicious day for giving me the opportunity to talk about my experiences, my journey about the research visibility. So definitely, I believe that to celebrate this librarians day, I must do some concrete constructive work. And I believe that that by doing a lot of research, publications, and sharing my experiences with all my teaching colleagues, not only in my university, but also across all colleges and universities in India and international level, is my prime responsibility. And now I feel that I have full right to celebrate this Librarians Day. Okay, so sharing my knowledge, whatever I have gained throughout this my journey. So this my PPT is about visibility, and see what important learning outcomes of this today's session will be, that what is important, how it is important, and why it is important to have the research visibility. Then I will also talking about how to create and promote online profile, even how to create research IDs in various platforms. Then what are the different stages of the research where you can achieve the visibility to your research, or you can give the visibility to your research. Then I will be giving few tips which I have experienced, which I have actually used for you all people, that how we can raise a visibility. So it is very well said that your high quality research deserve as much attention as possible. And it's really, really true, because what research we do, what piece of paper that we write, it's not for just dumping in our machines, but it deserve attention of not only the people in your field, but also the layman. Okay, so it should be for everyone, not only for the your academic colleagues. It should not be limited to your academic colleagues. So this is my first slide. I have, I think, across 35 slides, and I will be talking mostly through my photographs. Okay. So this is the first slide that talks about research publications and its global view. So wherever you will find that dark maroon, dark reddish maroon, or brick color, you have to guess that the lot of research is being published from those countries. Even India is not behind. Okay, the shade of the India that is coming out is a little lighter, but still a lot of research is going on from India as well as in the other countries. And then the question that you have to ask to yourself, that do you think that other knows about your research or the publication? Because we as a researchers, we keep on writing papers, publishing papers in the journals. Okay, then what we do, okay, to publicize ourselves or our research paper, right? I always feel that our research papers are like prize. They are like awards for us, right? How the Bollywood people are having their all awards, and they showcase their awards in their showcase of their living room of their home. Like this, these research papers are also awards for us. And why not to showcase this paper publications that we have done, whatever, not necessarily it has to be a publication, but it has to be a slide PowerPoint presentation. Also, the study material that you are preparing in your course time, So it could be anything. So basically, in elite class, it is called as research publications, but fine, you can start with your slides also. So what we are doing for that promotion, just do the introspection and think about that. Okay, you have spent almost maybe 6 months working on one research, and you have come out with one nice piece of paper, and you have actually poured your heart, your brain, everything in writing that paper, polishing that paper, publishing that paper. And what are you doing with that paper? So that is a big question, right? So you just think about it, and you answer yourself only. Let me ask, who am I? Okay, so this is my question, that who am I? I am Dr. Sarika Sawan, which is recognized very well by Google, that I am a Dr. Sarika Sawan. I'm assistant professor from SHPD School of Library Science. So this is the first page of Google when I'm asking my identity to the Google. Why I'm asking this identity to the Google? Because now the Google is the biggest search engine in the world. Everyone just Google it and Google it and Google it, right? So I just tried to find out my identity in the Google. Okay, so here is my identity. There is one more person called Dr. Sarika Magdade, something like that. Somewhere it is also shown that we are having the same same salutation, and as well as first name. Okay, so surname, her married name is something different. She's a dentist, and we are having the same name. So my point is here that your name, yes, it cannot be a unique name, right? There might be people in the world who may be having the same name, okay, same first name and the surname, even the same profession, even the same salutation also. So you have to distinguish yourselves, and you should establish your identity. Okay, it's not a just for a Google, but it's for your in your own profession, that you should establish your identity. Okay, so that is called as visibility. So let me ask Google Scholar, what is my identity? I will just tell you that I was fortunate to keep this screenshot of a Google Scholar in 2015. That time I was looking much younger, and not now. Okay, so in 2015, I had how many citations? You can just count here, that 56. You can see my profile photo, my affiliation, and my number of papers. The number of papers were only 20, and my citations were only 56, and that was in 2015. And when I just clicked this yesterday, 2021, my profile has changed, my photograph has changed, my other details are same, my number of papers have increased, and my citation has just shooten up, right? So my citations are like 275, and I just love this number. I have crossed 200, and I believe that I will cross more than 500 in within 5 years. Okay, and this I'm not only dreaming of this number, I'm working at a ground level to increase that number. Okay, so within this 6 period, mostly I will say that 5 years, in this 5 years, why the number has gone up to 4%, right? Why 4 times more? Why the number is four times more? The only reason behind this is that the visibility, the wide visibility that I give to my publications, my work, whatever I do in my own field, that I try to publicize, so that people must they should notice what Dr. Sarika Sawan is doing. Okay, and it has got a lot of advantages, not only in the form of citations, but other advantages also. I will talk about it later on. Okay, so this is the Google Scholar that talk about me. Now just think about the papers that I have written. See, this paper I just wrote 3 months back, means not 3 months back. It got published 3 months back. That is outsourcing of activities and services in academic libraries. Okay, it has more than almost 400 downloads. It has abstract view has been like 222 times. I haven't received the citation, but I'm very hoping that I will receive citation within this 6 months. Okay, at least I will start with 1, and why not with the 0 also. Okay, so my point is here that see the other paper which is published in the same annals journal, and this particular journal, this is the earlier paper that I showed you. This was this is having the highest download and highest views. Okay, if you compare with the other articles in the journal. Why? It is, don't think that my paper is the best one. Okay, why? Because I have publicized my paper in a various channels, through various channels. That is why maybe this is one, maybe the reason saying that I am having lot of downloads and even abstract view is more as compared to the other papers in the same issue. And about this particular journal, again, I observe that it has got a lot of downloads, like nearly 10,000 downloads, and it has got more than almost 2,000 abstract views. And again, this paper has got more attention as compared to the other papers, and it has received 31 citations. It was not having 31 citation at all 5 years. When 5 years, within 1 year, I got maybe 5-6 citation. But as I started making it visible to everyone, I started getting more citations, and I'm very sure that it will continue to have the more citations. And the reason behind this is that it's not only that I have given the publicity to this paper, but also that I have chosen a very right paper to publish my journal. Okay, choosing the right platform is also very important, because this is one of the topmost library science journal. It's not Indian, but it's Indian, proud to say, but it's in international scope in nature, which is open access journal. So having advantage of publishing your article in the open access is tremendous. So one of the benefit you can see it here, that it has got a more citations and no more number of downloads. Okay, and again, a very proud moment for me is that when I asked Google Scholar about my PhD topic, which I had done 10 years back, which I think I registered for PhD 15 years back, and I received my PhD 10 years back only in 2010. So 2010 onwards, there are a lot of PhDs been done in this same topic which I had taken. Not exactly the same topic, but the secondary topics or of different types related to the repositories and open access scenario. But I'm very happy to say that whenever I type institutional repositories in India in Google Scholar, my only paper comes up in the first page, and in the first one of the first paper displayed is my paper. Okay, so you can see here, Library High Tech News Institutional Repository in India, a preliminary study. This paper, which has got a citations like 26. So among 49,200 results, this is the first paper that comes up in the first page. So you can just imagine the amount of publicity that I have given. Also, the reason behind this is that this concept was very much emerging in 2005-6, I can say 2000 up to 10. Okay, so might be it was one of the preliminary or one of the first PhDs in the concept on the topic of this, so may have received a wider attention. But still, this is a fact that this has really grabbed the attention of the researchers all over the world. Okay, and the slides, almost 45 slides, research related slides I have archived in the slideshare.net, which has got more than 1,77,000. Okay, so my point is here, I'm not just here to showcase my achievement. Okay, I'm just here to just provoke you, or I can say that ignite that light in your mind that we can achieve everything if we decide and if we work very effectively, and keeping that future in mind. Like, okay, I'm doing some research right now. So you have to choose your research topic in such a way that you should think that down the 10 years line, what will be the value of that research? Okay, what that topic will take you, where it will take you. Okay, whether it will give you the like lot of citations, or it will be just a plain paper in your discipline. So you have to think about it, and you have to work for it, and then it is possible. And then I'm going to share you here with the secret is that mess with the names. Why I'm telling you with mess with the names? Because my name I always write as Sarika Sawant, Dr. Sarika Sawant. I never use the word called S. Sawant. I never use S. Sawant, or I never use Sarika Siddharth Sawant or something like that. I have consistently using this name, and there is a reason behind it, that you have to have your brand name, means your identity has to be in such a way that it should not get mixed up with someone else, or you should have your own identity. You should be known or recognized by that same name. Okay, again I will discuss with you what things you can do with this, or there should not be any mess. Like I in the another picture there, it is said that Mengdade is a dermatologist who is having the same name, first name and a surname, but she's using her married name and the maiden name also. Okay, so there should not be a confusion for a Google Scholar. Okay, all the search engine, not only Google Scholar, but all the search engine, that who you are, like you are what you are, right? So here I have given you on the left side that, see, I have archived my papers in the ELIS repository, and I made a mistakes in the beginning, that I used the name called S. Sawant, and then I started using my the name that I always like to write, like Sarika Sawant, right? Initially, I used the name called S. and Sawant, and then see, this miss happened because on my name it shows 14 papers with the name called Sarika Sawant, and 14 papers with the S. And third is a pure typo error, that there is no space between S. and S, right? So 3 papers are again this. So this is the mistake that I really did in the beginning, maybe 11 years back I did, and then I realized that yes, this is not a correct thing. That time ORCID that ID had not come. Okay, so keep that in mind. But now this mess cannot mess. This mess I have created on my own. Okay, so when I opened my account, or when I opened my account, I used Sarika Sawant, and then after a gap of 6 months, I again opened my account with a SS Sawant. So that was my pure mistake. So this kind of mistake you should not do. Okay, you should use consistently the name that you're using. I will tell you why. Okay, it is very, very important to write your name in a proper way, as well as give a proper title to your research article, to make a nice abstract for the article, as well as giving the proper keywords for the article. It's very, very crucial. Why I'm telling you, and this has nothing to do with the visibility, but it has actual connection with the visibility. When we submit our article online in the manuscript central, like all now journals are available online, right? They are now automated systems. So when we create a profile, or we have a login ID and a password, then we enter the manuscript center, and then we keep on adding all the data, like what is the title of our article, then abstract and the keywords and all and all. Even sometimes they have a thesaurus, journal is having thesaurus, and from there we pick up the keywords. Okay, and those keywords has to match with what paper you have. Okay, and what happens, we are in a very much hurry. We don't pay attention for in case of title, we don't pay attention in case of abstract, we don't pay attention related to our name, even the keywords also. And we don't think about what will be its long-term implications, and then just we submit it. Okay, but what happens, this is what the metadata means. This is a one kind of data that you are generating for your paper. okay, which will maybe get accepted and which will get published and which will be available on the journal's website. And this all data which you are right now inputting while submitting your article to the journal has all the relation with the journal or a journal articles when it gets accepted and displayed, because all search engines extract the metadata from all journals and then they retrieve your articles in the search engine. If you do not give a proper keywords, if you don't write your name also properly, I have also one example. I don't think so I have taken a screenshot of it, but in one of the journal I didn't pay the attention of making capital of Sarika mein se S and Savan mein se S, okay, all are small letters. So that journal has printed my article with all small letters and which looks so shabby, okay, when someone opens the paper. So this is what I'm telling you here, that this has got a long-term impact on your visibility of your research paper. If you are putting everything properly, okay, and submitting to any journal or even SlideShare, you have to create a profile in the SlideShare, and then you have to add all the data, like how we generate our email IDs now, like that only we do it, okay. So when you type, when you upload any of your slide, that time you have to give tags to your slides, and those tags should match with your content. We do not give the tags, so if someone is trying to search PPT in the SlideShare, will not get retrieved, because whatever some users type something, that particular system try to match with the tags with which authors has given, okay. If those tags are not matched, your article, your SlideShare, your slideshow will never get retrieved by that particular person or a user. So this is the problem with your visibility. This is the biggest problem with the authors, that they don't pay attention. And now we have to pay attention, because now you have realized that, even I have realized that, how important it is to give the keywords, to give the to give the tags to hashtags and all, okay. Even LinkedIn has a hashtags, right, like how Twitter has got. So it is all important, and it is called as alternative metrics. And I'm very happy to say that Nature is the journal which has got a highest impact factor amongst all journals, scientific journals which are published every year, which has got a highest altmetrics. If you go to the journal's website, and if you're able to see that how that particular journal article is been talked in the social media, how the comments that particular article has received in a social media. I'm not talking about citations. It is different than the citation. So what we are doing here is we are trying to map the social media with our publication. Okay, and this is also one kind of metrics. And maybe UGC will also tell one day to us that okay, now you don't consider your impact factor, now you consider your alternative metrics, altmetrics. Okay, people are commenting about your article, people are talking about article or not, something like that. Okay, maybe happen. So you have to pay attention with your names, with your publication details that you give when you log in into the system, and wherever you go, wherever you comment, you have to be very careful about, because you are logged into that particular system, your identity is attached with that. So your whatever comments you give, it gets retrieved in the Google or all search engines. Again, here I will give you the example that every journal has a different citation style. Okay, this citation style is this is Emerald Journal, Library Science. So see how Savan, comma S is written, surname, comma first name. Now in the next slide, I will show you. Okay, here see my article, my name is written in such a different way, in different citation style. Okay, so my names can be written in a different way, and it may be identified by any search engine in a different way. Okay, that the search engine may get confused that I am not the same person, I may be a different, these are different identities. Okay, but you can avoid this problem by having the ORCID research ID. I will show you that also if we get a time. At the end, I can give you hands-on on ORCID ID. Okay, so this problem may arise. Now let's see what you can do to have the visibility. Okay, to have the greater visibility to your work. First, carefully submit article in recognized journal. Plan from the beginning. Share your research work with your social network. Okay. As I said that you have to choose correctly the journal which is in your field, and even the article, the journal should match, the article should match with the scope of the journal. Okay, so right from that only scratch you have to think about, you have to plan whether you will go for the open access journal or a paid journal or any other journal. Okay, so if I will definitely recommend, you can go for the open access journal, but good quality open access journal, not the predatory journals. Okay, so blacklisted journals you should not. Okay, the journals which ask you that you submit article and within 24 hours it will be posted on the journal's website, you pay this much, like article processing fees like 2,000, 4,000, 5,000. Don't do this because they are all fishy. They first claim that they are good, but later on we understand that they are all not good journals, so they are blacklisted, so they are just money making journals, so you should avoid such type of journals. Then you should create your profile. Okay, profile in the sense you should have at least your website, not paid you, if you don't want to buy a domain name for you, fine, no problem, but there are so many ways you can have your site, website. You can have your own website using Google Sites and so many things. Okay, and then you can just mention about yourself very nicely. You can put it in words that what exactly you do, and you should list your publications, your teaching, your links you should give to the journal articles or your presentations also, because people they just dig information. I have realized this, that after updating my profiles as and whenever I get a time, and whenever I link my articles from my website to the SlideShare, people are now more using my slides, and I'm getting more number of views. Okay, maybe the reason because I keep on refreshing my website. Okay, so you can just create your own profile, and then you can utilize research archiving, sharing options or platforms. Here I will definitely tell you that I have archived so many papers, like maybe more than 40 papers and conference papers I have archived in the slide, in the ELIS subject repository. Okay, I have some screenshots, I have kept it with for you. See, you have full right as an author to deposit your article on your own website or in your institutional repository or any other subject repository. Okay, all journals, all, even Elseviers or Taylor and Francis, everyone, they allow us the preprint of the paper is allowed to deposit. Means first version, when we write a paper, we finish it and then we submit it, right, to the journal, and then review takes place. So the article that you submit to the journal is called as preprint. Okay, and that preprint you can deposit it anywhere. Okay, so not the polished version, but the preprint, the version which you have just submitted to the journal. So that that version of the paper you can submit anywhere. You can post it on your own profile, you can keep it on your own profile anywhere. People are now using all sorts of platform to deposit their article. So anyhow, the search engine crawl the such type of website, and they fetch the data. which you have contributed. Okay, so in this way people not try to give the visibility. So you can also do this. I will also show you the screenshot again. Google profile is must. If you have citations or not, fine, at least you create your Google profile, and then definitely people will people notice you, and you will start getting the citations. And even now it is important to have for the institutional profile also, you can create in the Google Scholar also. Like I just last week I saw Shivaji University has got a institutional Google Scholar. Okay, and all the scholars of all the researchers, teachers of Shivaji University are listed under that profile. Okay, that Google profile especially kept created for the institution. So like this also for your own college also you can create such type of profile, and you can tell your all staff to create a Google Scholar, and I'm very sure that Sandhya will help them to have the Google Scholar, and maybe most of you must be having the Google Scholar also. And also the see, we are all teachers. Okay, so some are now or then, or maybe in the past, we keep on creating some few videos. Those videos also you can upload on the YouTube, because again it is free, right? You can create. Institutions can create their own YouTube account, and they can keep their small videos uploaded, right? Now I'm telling you what I did in my YouTube, that I have that render forest something, like last year there was one app. Okay, so in that I had created one video of 1 minute only, and that video is about my biodata. Okay, my resume. It was like my resume, and it was nicely I had made, and I kept it on the YouTube. So people see that also. So you are trying to visualize, means you are trying to I can say project yourself by various ways. Okay, so not only the video I have uploaded on the YouTube, but also the papers that I presented. Like I said, I presented a paper in the Malaysia, right? IFLA, Malaysia, posters, and I made a video with the help of, I think, Kind Master. I made a video and uploaded on the YouTube. Even I have the slides, the paper presentation slides that I had prepared, I have uploaded on the SlideShare. See, whatever ways it is possible for you to have the visibility to your work, you must do it. Okay, why it is important? Because people then come to know about your work. Otherwise, how people will come to know about it? Now the having the profile, that detailed biodata is outdated. It's outdated completely. Nobody is going to read your biodata. People are just interested in knowing your gadgets, how on which platform you are available. Okay, whether you are there on Insta, or whether you are there on Twitter or LinkedIn or not. Okay, so these are all called live I can say apps where your existence is must. Okay, so you can be very creative about how you can project yourself. Okay, and it's very important, and branding is really important. I must say that in this 2021 we are paying so much attention. I just can't imagine in 2040 ahead what will be the situation of all those gadgets and the visibility. Okay, maybe we'll go in dark. Everyone will go in the deep web, so nothing will get red, right? But apart from that, right now this is the situation that we have to have this visibility to our work. Okay, then express your opinion on a Twitter. Yes, you can participate in the Twitter, not fights, but the academic discussion you can participate. Okay, why it is important? Because you can show your stand. Okay, you can show that you are interested in this topic. You can show that you know something about the topic. So that is what my point is. Okay, so you not necessarily only the Twitter. I can say now there are so many platforms like I had taken the interview of Professor Shalini Wurs, and which was uploaded on the in open interview website. that was created by Dr. Santosh Hugabari. So people have commented so much after that interview. So the comment section is very interesting to read. Means I always read the comment section, what people think and how they reflect. So that gives you the idea that what lacunas you had in your work. Okay, so these people who comments, they also give you some kind of feedback to your work. So again, we can improve our basics, or we can improve our first stage of doing research. Okay, so you get ideas, different ideas, so you have to take it in a very positive way. Okay, and you should participate in the such kind of conversation. Then highlight important points in your or others blog post. Yes, I said that you can participate in the conversation, and then you can say that how my this particular point is important, or how I have shown, or I can just I just go and tell people, okay, you're not understanding, say for example, this ProQuest, how to search ProQuest. I have created one video on the ProQuest, how to search author in a ProQuest. Please, I just post the link. Okay, you please click on this, and then you will able to get the video. So this is the way you are promoting your work. Okay, you, whenever you get a time, you can do it. Like, we are all very busy, it's not possible for every time, but at least for the students community we can do it. At least the students, if we are getting questions by the students, then at least definitely we should give the comments to them, guide them, so that they at least they are satisfied. So your visibility is not just for projecting your biodata, but also helping someone. Okay, so that is my point is here. And the last point that I have given is here, ORCID, the author identifier, that I will show you in the next screenshot. And also the very important point that I have kept it here at the last is WhatsApp groups and the status, right? That status is such a nice thing that WhatsApp has created, right? So you can just keep your paper, which is newly published, as a WhatsApp status. You can just take a picture of the front page of your paper and just keep it on the status. That's it. People will view, because definitely you will be having 1,000 people in your WhatsApp group, right? Not only WhatsApp group, but in the in your mobile phone. At least 200, 300, those who are interested in reading your article will definitely see the status. They will comment, they will go and read, they will click on the link and they will read the article. Okay, so this is also one way of promoting. You can just post it your article also, or the details of your article in the WhatsApp various groups. So let people know what you are doing. See, it's like people also must know that what exactly you do, what kind of research you do, what are your core research areas, and which has a lot of importance, because this publicizing my own research work has given me a lot. Like, first example I will tell you, that collaborative project, that BRICS countries ka book, only I got it because of the my articles which I have published, and which are more visible in the Google Scholar, right? So the Joachim Somphal from the France, he approached me saying that I would like you to write a chapter on the Indian open access scenario. Okay, so that was a biggest opportunity, and that just first that opportunity was created by me. Okay, no one came forward, and I didn't ask anyone that you give me this project, or I would like to collaborate with you, or something like that. Someone, because of that visibility, come forward to me and give me the opportunity to collaborate on the work. So like this, collaboration is very, very important nowadays in this particular 21st century. And this collaborators, you will able to find it only because of visibility. If you know, okay, this person is also working on the same concept, same topic, then why not to collaborate? You can just find out the email ID of that person. You can use a Google Scholar to find out the email ID, and you can write a nice mail to that person saying that I would like to collaborate with you in writing this particular article. or I am interested in doing the research with you. Okay, so the opportunity brings opportunity. It's like that. Okay, so you have to create that opportunity for yourself. Nobody in the world is there which will give you free of cost and give you in a nice golden plate, right? You have to generate that golden plate for yourself only. So these are the things that you can do. Okay, here I will show you that ORCID ID, that how you can create. It's not at all difficult. You can just go to the ORCID website. You can just, like how we create a Gmail ID, like that you can create your own ID, and then you have to write your name. See here on this left side, it is written, right? Also known as Sawant S or Sawant Sarika. Okay, so my identity, like I am Sarika Sawant, but I'm also known as a Sawant dot Sawant comma S, Sawant comma Sarika also. Okay, so this ORCID has already identified. I have not written on my own. This ORCID has identified and kept it like this. And I can also go on adding also. So I can write like Sarika Siddharth Sawant also. I am known as Sarika Siddharth Sawant. Okay, so if once you have this ORCID ID now, or whatever you publish by your name, using these different names, will get come at one particular place. Means you will be identified by your this ID, not by your name, but by this ID. And nowadays, all journals, all these commercial journals are making compulsory to have the ORCID ID. Okay, so you as a researcher must have this ORCID ID. You have to have this ID because when you do the login and all, it will ask you, please enter your ORCID ID. Okay, so my ORCID ID is here. See here, you can see this ORCID ID. I don't need to remember this. And once I create this ORCID ID now, I don't, my information will be automatically taken by everyone. Okay, so this is my actual profile has been generated here in the ORCID. I have not typed anything. I have not typed all my publications at all. Only I have written about employment. Employment also, Srimati, it has taken as it is. This I have added. NCL and educational qualifications I have added. Otherwise, the publications which are there displayed here in the ORCID ID are automatically generated by the ORCID. Okay, I don't need. If my article is getting published, okay, in any journal, ORCID automatically updates the data. Okay, I don't need to do it. I don't simply need to do it. Means you must be thinking right now, up till now, whatever I spoke, you must be thinking, array, how much time she's having and how much time she spent on just visibility. Then when she does the work, right? But it's not too much difficult and not too much time consuming. Once you have the ORCID ID, your biodata is automatically generated, and the moment you give your ORCID ID to any other platform, they will pick up the data from this ORCID ID. That's it. Okay, because everywhere they ask you only ORCID ID. So suppose if you want to go and start your academia.edu or ResearchGate, okay, if you want to open your account there, you just give your ORCID ID. That's it there. They will ask you, do you have a ORCID ID? If you say yes, then it will automatically take the data from here. So all Microsoft, Microsoft OneFile, Publons, Kudos, there are so many research sharing platforms where you can share your work, okay? You can display your work. There are so many like Figshare and F1000, like how we have SlideShare like that, okay? So there is only this ORCID number is important. So I can say this is the key now for opening all the doors of these social sharing platforms. Okay, so Scopus is also having one nice facility. Scopus is showing me this kind of profile. So you can see here, see, Scopus has identified only the 22 articles, and it is showing me only 91 citation. This is their lacunas. This is their I can see limits. Okay, see, Google Scholars coverage is much bigger than the Scopus and Web of Science. That is the problem. Okay, so my number of articles will be shown in Scopus and Web of Science will be like kam jada. Okay, it will be not like how Google Scholar will show, because even though our UGC asks us to show a Scopus and Web of Science, Google Scholar data is much far better than the Scopus and Web of Science, and which is so costly, and we do not afford to buy this, have the Scopus and Web of Science also. Okay, see here it has asked me my ORCID ID. I have kept it here. So from ORCID it has picked up the data. Okay, so their whatever is their coverage, accordingly they have picked up only 22. So they are saying that they are claiming that I have only 22 documents because of their limits. Okay, so now let's see website is very important. I said personal website. See here I have kept all my article, my latest up to date publications. I have kept it here. I give all the time link to my original article, the journal's website, as well as if I have deposited the preprint of that particular article, then I give that also. So here see free full text preprint. So ELS repository ka link also I give it here. So people, when they see this particular website, when they read this article, suppose they search something in the Google and they land up on my web page, on my website, they have an opportunity to go and at least see the preprint. Okay, not the polished version, but the preprint. Now on the left side, it is also important that you should update your institutional website also properly. Okay, so you should request your IT department that they should add your new latest photograph with your subject interest, and your profile, your brief CV should get attached to your profile, because people search sometimes from your website also. So institution's website is also important, and this website I had created using Google Sites only. So this is my old website. Now you can see this is my new website, which again I have created using Google Scholar only. The older one I am planning to close, and I'm going to start this. This I have already very well developed with all my research IDs, invited top publications. So here you can see awards, honors, and everything. Papers, you can see it here also, and the links which I have given. So it is very important to update your website, not just to create your website, but keep on updating. See, you have to spend at least 2 to 3 hours per week to update all your social network accounts and your website. But you should have some target. You should plan. Okay, in your Google Calendar, you can have Google Calendar will help you to plan how you can do the all these kind of revisions and updations. Okay, so you can just set a date and a time in your Google Calendar, and it will help you to remind, okay, it's now time to update your website. Okay, so accordingly you have to keep on adding. One of the Coursera course that I had attended on time management, they have mentioned very well that if that work has to be done quickly at the same moment, if it is not going to take more than 5 minutes, you should do that work immediately within 5 minutes. You should not keep it pending. If I have published my article, then to add that citation, bibliographical details is not going to take more than 3 to 4 minutes. I had to just log in into my system, go to the website, open that website, then click on publication. After click on publication, I had to just copy paste that citation and give the link to generate a link to the journal's website. That's it. It is not going to take more than 3 to 4 minutes. So you should do it regularly. It's like my website is very up to date every time. Why? And I always type the date also, okay, when I had updated that website last time. Okay, so the moment you have some new information, you keep on adding. Okay, so it is not going to take a time. Only you have to make up your mind that you have to do it. Once you make up your mind, then there is nothing impossible in the world. So this is the Vidwan ID. This is very, very important right now because this is a part of InflibNet, right? And we should be very proud to list ourselves on the Vidwan ID. And I would like to add here point that MPhil PhD students also can create a ID here in the Vidwan because they have made a provision for that also. Okay, so if anyone pursuing the PhD also, they can generate. So here again, ORCID ID I had put here. Okay, and automatically, so here it is not come like academic identity na. So here it is actually the bottom, the ORCID ID, and that or ID when the moment I put my all publication from the ORCID has come here. Okay, and it is showing me all information, like it shows that correctly 44 articles, 12 conferences, 3 projects, 4 awards. I have updated also this affiliations, publications, and co-authors, and then the years when the papers are published, and it has also shown that Vidwan score is 9.1. Even this particular profile and the information educational qualification, you can do it on your own. Okay, so you should just one day decide and just sit and create your all IDs. Then okay, so this is ResearchGate. Again, this is one academic social networking website where also you can put your papers. You are allowed to put only the preprints of the paper, not the published version. So, and you will receive a lot of requests. I receive so many requests from the ResearchGate that we want this. So here, see this mailbox is there. Na? Here I receive so many requests from all over the world that I want this your article, please send. Okay, so I just share my paper with these people, whoever asks me about the paper. See, outsourcing of activities and services. Immediately this paper is recognized by the ResearchGate and is appearing here. I have not added anything here. Okay, only the ResearchGate is identifying, because here also my ORCID ID is also given. It is not reflected here, but it will be somewhere. Okay. Yes, it is not. Okay, so again, see, every this platform has a different calculations of citations. Okay, so Google Scholar is telling me 275, but here Scopus showed me something different, and now I think Scopus showed something 100, and now this ResearchGate is showing me the citation like 126. Again, this is depending on the coverage that they have. Okay, so don't pay attention. Just keep on projecting yourself. Okay, so just keep on updating your information. You just keep on giving a good keywords also. Okay, because it asks you that what is your key areas. So that also you have to give, because people search using that keywords also, and somewhere someone will tap you and ask you to collaborate. So you will be missing one opportunity in life, I feel. Okay, so you have to keep on exploring all these websites. So here, yesterday only, I had forgotten actually this paper to project on the LinkedIn. I had kept it on my mobile WhatsApp status. I had forwarded to all my friends, emailed so many my friends, but on LinkedIn, I had not kept it. And LinkedIn is also a very good community where you can showcase your work. So yesterday only, I posted this, my paper on the LinkedIn, and it has got more than 1,000 views. My this particular post has been read by more than 1,000 people. And again, I observed the views, which I had this on the annals journals has gone up. Okay, so so this is the power of sharing your research in the academic community. Okay, so you can have a nice profile here. Even this, see, Orchid ID is reflecting here. Okay, you have to update your biodata also. There is a very good chance to showcase your publication here in LinkedIn also. Okay, I have not shown you. Maybe when we'll get a time, I'll show you that you have to just showcase all your publication, all your achievement, your past employers, and everything. Twitter also I uploaded yesterday only. So there are few views, not great. Then this is academia.edu. So it shows me all statistics. See, it is showing me that there are 79 papers mentioned Sarika Sawant. So the citations where my papers have cited, like I have 275 articles, my name is mentioned. So it has recognized that there are 79 papers within this academia community where my name is mentioned. You can go and just check it. And here also you can make a nice profile. You have to give your interest, research areas, research interest. Then again, now I think they are asking for the paid version also. It's a free version, premium, you can also go for it. And then this particular on the right side bottom, this is the paid ka preview. They have just given me the preview. I didn't go for a paid version. I'm there just on a free version. There are people who go for the paid version also. So here you can see how many followers you are, how many people you are following, how many total number of views to your articles or whatever you have uploaded. Okay, I told you that I have deposited my articles in the ELS repository. Here are the articles. This is the admin screenshot I have taken, and you can find out from the open door the repository which you would like to deposit. Okay, because all the repositories are they are registered with open door. So I think SSRN, Social Science Research Network, will be the best place for you to upload or deposit your articles. I told you that YouTube, I have made the YouTube videos and I have kept it. Even this YouTube videos also I email to the students. WhatsApp circulate on a WhatsApp also, so that they can go and see the these videos. And that is also one interesting thing that you can make use of mailing list forum. Okay, or you can say, for example, in our library science we have ILOC mailing list forum or LIS forum. So where also you can put your articles. For example, this article I had published in the Sakali. Okay, Marathi article I had published this. So this article I had posted on the ILOC forum. Okay, that I have published one article. Please everyone have a look at it. Okay, see, I have received the messages also for congratulatory messages for publishing the article in the newspaper. So this is what the publicity, like this person has given the website, different websites, conference website. Maybe he was about to have one conference, so conference website. So this in your signature also, you can also put the abstract of your article. Okay, so this also I have done. I couldn't get the email because I have deleted so many emails from the Gmail, so I couldn't get that. But sometimes I have also done this, that in your signature also you can put the abstract of your article. So you are not making someone compulsory to read your article, but if they wish, they can read. Like in the signature you have posted, so they can read it. So like this you can do. This is also very good way to publicize your work. As I said that BRICS country ka book was published. So this is the Joshim Somphal, who is the editor of this book. So this opportunity I got, and I got so many opportunities. This is one I have shared with you. There is one big concept in case of science. Okay, When the scientific researchers do the research, they do lot of visibility. They give lot of visibility before, during, and even after the research. We know only after. Right now, I showed you up to the visibility after publication. Okay, what publicity I did after publication. But in science, this is one of the very great thing, that they do publicize their work before, even during, and even after. Okay, so what they do, when their topic is decided, they just keep on discussing their topic with their colleagues. They present the papers in the conferences, that this is the topic that they would like to do, or the initial or a groundwork that they have done. So they do it this in the before the commencement of the research, even the during. So whatever the data they have collected, even they try to collect the data, they present it with someone, even they file patents also. Okay, during the research, and even after, in form of publication or in form of book, also they publish their work, and even they give the publicity to that. So that I feel that the scientists in the science, life sciences or science and technology, the visibility starts with the before the commencement of the research. Okay, so we as a social science researcher also, we can think of that, how we can publicize, okay, our research work which we are going to start, or we are doing it. So if I think we do it, then maybe we'll achieve the greater visibility to our work. So here are my important tips, that try to publish in open access journals. That is very, very true, because it's openly available. Article is openly available. There is no hurdle. There is no barrier in downloading of the article. So anyone can download the article at any time and use in their research work. Then create your Google Scholar or a website and update it. Updation is a key. If you are not updated yourself, or your all these profiles, then you are just showing your backdated information to the world, and people are not interested in the history. Okay, they are interested in the current and the future research. So you carefully add the metadata, carefully write the title, abstract keywords, and the keywords from their journals thesaurus. Picking up the right keyword is also very important, because your article get categorized under that, the keyword that you select from the journal. Then there is one of my friend told me that, not friend, but this happened with me, that one of my friend added my 2 articles in the reading list of her paper, okay, in the syllabus. I think it was something from the Shrills journal, and one was from the Annals journal. Okay, so they found it very interesting, those professors in my field, in my own field, and they asked me that, can we add these 2 articles in the reading list? I said, why not, you add it. Okay, so your articles will get, try to see to it that your articles, if it is contemporary, or if it is useful for the even teaching, somewhere in a teaching, you can, why not recommend and add it in the reading list also. Then first and very important part, that keep doing research. If you don't do research, you will not have publication. If you don't have a publication, you will not have visibility. You don't need visibility only. Okay, so visibility is not just for sharing the photographs and showing that you are eating in a 5-star hotel, or you're having some very fashionista life and all. Okay, it's about research. So you have to do the research, keep on doing research, small research you have to do. Then and then your research productivity will increase, and you will able to showcase your research in form of various platforms to the world. So this is the message that I would like to give, that keep on exploring research and keep on doing research, and visible your research, make it visible to the entire research fraternity in your own field. Okay, so thank you very much. I think there are also few slides. Let me show you. I read one article where they it was the article was published in the Nature magazine. Again, the topmost, the Nature, and they had mentioned that how the research visibility helps, or people how they discuss your research in a various ways, right? So people track metrics, they discovered they even get a jobs because of the visibility of their articles, okay, because they are being judged that this person is a true researcher or good researcher, has published so many so much of a work. So it is important for getting job also. Share links to the authored content, or actively discuss, means how people are using, okay. Scientists are using this social network for what purpose, the social network. So whatever this research get, these are academic social network platforms. So all the scientists, not necessarily only the sciences, social sciences, but life sciences, technology, everyone is using the platform, and they're using it for the like discussion. So more this color is for discussion they're using, they're commenting on research, then they are they are trying to discover, they are getting the more papers, discover the recommended papers, even post content also, okay. For all these purpose, academic social networks like ResearchGate and this LinkedIn and all, everything is been used. So I believe that you have understood that visibility is must in Web 3.0. We are right now in a 3.0. So what are the benefits? Benefits are like retrieval in a search engine. Search engine will retrieve your almost all work, not necessarily in the first page, maybe second, third, fourth, fifth, up to 10th page, okay, depending on how active you are in your own field. Then you'll receive more citations. And the very important aspect that public will see your research. See, I told you that preprints of the articles you can deposit in the repositories, right? So in this way, you are going to show your research not only to the academic field, means your colleagues in your same academic field, but also to the layman, to the public, who are actually taxpayers, who have paid you for your salaries for your research, and they are going to see your research, actual research. So that is also a great satisfaction. And third world country will be benefited, like we are third world country, right? So imagine the MITs and Oxfords and all, they are all depositing their articles in the journal, they are depositing their PPTs on their website, they are depositing their research work in their repositories. So we as a third world country are getting benefited because of the research that they have produced and they have shared, okay. They have shared, but we are getting benefit. So by small steps we can achieve a greater level satisfaction, and I think that is really important. So we are not here just for a visibility, but we are here also for benefit of someone else. Okay, so thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share my experiences. I think I have taken a lot of time in explaining and sharing my experiences. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sarika Sawant, for sharing such an valuable information with all of us. And of course, not whatever time you have taken, it is really worth for all of us. And we are very grateful that we got this opportunity to hear these all information from you. And ma'am, these all information, it is not just a knowledge that you have shared, but it really it gave us an insight of thinking about why, not only doing work is important, but then visibility is also important. So very, very valuable information that we received from you. Thank you so much for sharing it. And now I would like to move ahead in this program. And this is a time for a question answer from all the participants. And I'm sure they must be very, very curious to ask so many questions to you and clarify their doubts. So for that purpose, I would request Dr. Amit Mishal, Associate Professor, Hashwadwani College of Special Education, to please take a few questions which can be addressed here. But before that, there's a special announcement and important announcement for all the participants. You are going to get a feedback link in the chat box. I request all the participants, so please access the link, fill the form and submit, because your feedback is very much valuable for us. So I request again all the participants, so please fill the form and submit without fail. And also I would like to request to please stay in the meeting till the end, so that we can get your cooperation and we can fully reach to the end of this program. So please be in the program till the end. Now I would request Dr. Mishal to please take up a few questions and talk about that. Over to Dr. Mishal.
Thank you, PM ma'am. After such an interesting and wonderful session, we go ahead with question and answer session. And we have round about 4 to 5 questions with us, and hopefully we may get more, but I feel so it was a good session. So lot we came to know about visibility about research, how it has to be done. So ma'am, the first question which has been asked is like, mention various different ways to publicize our articles. So this is the first question.
Okay, in my talk only I had mentioned that you can just post it on, you can discuss with your colleagues, show your colleagues, you can take the screenshot and keep it on a WhatsApp status, share it on the various WhatsApp groups, you can post it on the LinkedIn, you can post it on a Twitter, you can keep it on your website also, bibliographic details, you can have it, you can participate in the conversation. Where do you think that your topic of research is mentioned somewhere? Okay, so you can also participate in the conversation on the blogs also, you can post it. You have to be very vigilant, I say, and then just keep on doing. And it's not very difficult at all. I am also managing everything at a time. I'm also having a 7-year-old daughter. I do cooking, I do a lot of exercise, I do jogging, I do a lot of research work also. I guide students simultaneously, and as well as I am having a very good social network also. Physical social network than the virtual.
Thank you, ma'am. Surely you have opened the door. We have to just enter in and peep in and see more what we can do. The second question which is asked is that, how can we join ResearchGate without domain name?
How can
we join ResearchGate without domain name?
Domain name, I'm not sure whether it is not necessary. You have to have a domain email ID.
It is required. Gmail ID is not acceptable.
Okay, now they have changed. Okay.
Even
fine.
academia.
So you just can't help it. You have to request your authority now that you should have to have a domain email IDs, because understand, even Google Scholar is not allowed. Google Scholar will not start only. Okay, earlier ResearchGate and this thing was free for a Gmail, means anybody could have joined ResearchGate and academia, but now they have must have made compulsory. I really don't know about it, but my domain specific email ID is there with, so I think I had no issue. Many places it is required domain specific, especially teachers, because there are so many apps and so many things which are you have so much of a discount on the apps also if you log in with the domain specific email ID also. So it's very important.
Thank you for your answer, ma'am. The third question is, actually it has been answered also in the chat box, but more if you could please share how to create ORCID ID.
Okay, I will just show you. Right now I have already with me my ORCID account, so I cannot show, but I can at least show you how it looks like. See this orchid.org. Like how you create a Gmail ID, any email ID, like that you have to just sign in. Like how you sign in various platform like Facebook and all. Like that you have to just sign in. So this is already mine is there. It's a 16-digit number that will get generated. And this will be the unique ID, your research ID, so that whatever publications are done by you will be tagged to this particular ID. So here you can see these all journal publications. They're automatically been taken up. I have not yet done. And see here you can just find out many people. There will be a lot of researchers who will be in the same field will be having the ORCID ID. So like you can give the keywords, website, your Scopus ID. My Scopus ID is already also given here. My email IDs are given. So this few basic aspects I have added. See in my email, I have the signature of this QR code of ORCID ID. Okay, not ID that 16-digit, but I have this QR code. So that also you can do this. You can you can see this as your CV also. You can take a printout or you can just save it as a PDF also. So you don't need to keep on updating your biodata. So it's not very difficult at all. You can just do it on your own. You can add invited positions and all. See, you can just update on your own. If suppose it will be very, very rarely, means this has never happened that someone else paper is added in my list. This has not been done, but Google Scholar I have observed. So if this happens, then you have to remove that paper. You can't claim that paper on your name. I have observed many times people with the similar names, it is not their paper. It can be easily understand that that person is from social science and the article been mentioned in the Google Scholar is from science. Okay, life science. So the person is having the same name, but not the same domain, same research area. So such type of things you observe, then you can remove it. So it's not that difficult. You can just create this. You can just find out about. You can read it. This documentation is there. You can read what are the benefits. You can just see the tutorials also on ORCID, how it is important, benefit. Again. Okay, it is again back to the position. Okay, so this is what ORCID is.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah.
See, nobody has taught me this. Okay, I have done it on my own. I have given you only the few points. You have to now utilize all your brain and start doing it. Okay.
Okay, we'll all make an attempt and at least try out how it goes.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, so much. Now, the fourth question is, does visibility helps freelance researcher? Does
Freelance
visibility,
research.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yes, there is a possibility. There is now a lot of freelancers are available online. They are showcasing their work and they are getting the opportunity. See, there are so many research funding opportunity also. The moment you have more visibility to your work, the funding opportunities also increases. If you want international funding, then ORCID ID is must. Your visibility to your research work is must, because people judge you on your what work you have done. So especially in the foreign countries, they are checking before the person is asked for the interview. They check, dig their all data in the Google, and if there are any controversies they observe, then the interview may get cancelled. Okay, so it's like a inquiry na, about a person. So Google is there for us to inquire and tell about
Background search.
background search. Correct, background.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, one more question we have. This is again an interesting. Can we upload our paper on Google Scholar? In which
No.
form?
No, we cannot upload our paper on Google Scholar only. We can only create a profile in the Google Scholar. We cannot upload. You can just type there your details. Okay, paper details you can type. If Google has not automatically picked up, okay, Google automatically picks up if any paper is published by you. Okay, immediately it will come in a Google Scholar. If it is not coming, suppose it is a conference paper, okay, it is your conference paper which is not available online, you can go on your with your hand you can input the data, but no full text paper you can have it on your website, the website that you create. Suppose if it is a published article, then preprint of the article, that is the version that you submit to the journal, that you can post it. That also I have on my website. So there are articles which are rejected, which are not been accepted. तो क्या करने का उसका? You just keep on your website. That's it. कोई तो आके देखेगा.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Anyone wants to still ask any question?
I just want to add to what you said, in the sense now it is time for heads of the colleges and university authorities to kind of push people to do this. Some things can be made mandatory, and can be assigned rather than just impact factor and publication number and all. There are so many other things which need to be reflected in API scores and other mandatory things. I feel, there's so much things have gone. I mean, it was an eye-opening session. So I feel that at the level of faculty, what are they supposed to do? But B, at the level of authorities, now they have to be aware of all these things and how these things can be caught in, accreditation and assessment process is also very important.
So this is my point. Na? Google Scholar is free and it is showing us correct data. It's not a wrong data. I have checked all the citations. All the citations are correct. But they are asking us Web of Science and Scopus, which is so costly. We cannot afford only to have the Web of Science only, right? And when NAC comes, they ask us, give us the citation and your H index as per Scopus. And then we have to request someone who is having that facility that please give us our Scopus details.
Correct.
And this in goodwill everyone does. Otherwise, you are not supposed to do it.
Yeah, but higher authorities and policymakers have to be aware of what you are talking, That macro level, that understanding has to be. Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful session.
Yeah, thank you, AH ma'am, for your input along with ma'am. And no more questions, I feel. So, ma'am, thank you. Thanks a lot. Very well, you answered all the questions, whatever we had got in our chat sessions and our participants wanted to know about. Thank you once again from behalf of our CCYM's HSCSC team. And now I hand over to PM ma'am to take the session further.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mishal, for taking up this question and answer session and helping all the participants to clarify their doubts. So now it's the time to have some more announcement, and I would like to give some more information about some upcoming events of HEXA. So for that purpose, I would request our volunteer to please start sharing the screen. And on screen, you will get all the details, basic details, and I can request all the participants to please have a screenshot. Whatever you feel necessary for you or people around you, if you think that they can get benefited from the information that I'm going to share now with all of you. So volunteers, you can share the screen now. And by the time I start with few of the upcoming events that are going to be in HEXA, as we all know that, we all can really realize that in today's time, technology has become an integral part of our life. So whatever we do, for everything, we are depending on technology, especially due to this pandemic time, we are completely become slave of this technology. But on the other side, we got this unique opportunity to, explore doing things with the help of technology. And this is the need of today's time, that now each and every person need to get hands-on experiences, need to get opportunity to develop skills handling technology in an effective way. So this is the need that we at HEXA identified, and based on this need, HEXA CCYM Harshad College of Special Education has launched one value-added program, that is Abhasi, and it is completely,
Who's showing the slide? Yeah.
yeah. So one of the value-added program that has been launched by HEXA, that is Abhasi, and the entire content that are being given to our student is completely based on the on having more and more skill development in technology, how you can handle technology in an effective way. So this is a program, and as you can see in the slide, that this program is 1 month long program, and this program is going to be started in the month of November, and it will get end in the month of December. You're going to have classes for this program twice a week, and the duration of each day will be 2 hours. So the last date of getting registration done is 30th 10/21. So, and you can see, and as I have requested all of you to please have a screenshot, and the contact number of the concerned person is also given there. So what I need to highlight here is that maybe you are well equipped with the technology, maybe you may not feel the need of doing it directly, but many a times it happens that people around us are really looking for such kind of courses, but due to unawareness of availability of the courses or where to do this, they couldn't reach to the right place. And since we are providing platform, so I will request everyone to please have this information saved with you and share with people as much as possible, so that the needy person can get benefit from this program. So I will briefly tell you about this, and the further details you can, of course, get through call. You can give a call and you can contact with concerned person, and you can get more detail about this program. You can move the slides now. And the second value added program, which again has been launched last year, and this year, even Abhasi also, it has been launched last year, and we have successfully completed with the first batch. And I'm very pleased to inform that we got very motivating and very positive response from all the participants, and that really motivated us to come up with the second batch. And since we are here to start with the second batch, the same with the another value added program that I'm going to introduce to you all, that is ABK, and the full form of ABK is Aao Baatein Kare. That's the program, and it is completely the entire theme of this program is based on the conversation. Okay, so there are various skills and strategies. So conversation, if I say, and you will feel that, okay, you have a program on conversation also. What is new in this? We all are doing conversation every day. We are communicating every day. So what new you're going to teach? So the same question our participant had, the same question when they have started entering in the first batch, and every session when they have attended, they got an insight that, okay, there are so much to do in this, even what we do in our day-to-day life, that is conversation. There are so many strategies, there are so many skills that we can apply, not just to have a conversation, but to have an effective conversation. Okay, so yeah, for that program also, you are very well free to please contact the concerned person and get more detail about this. This program, the duration of this program is 4 months, and both the programs, Abhasi and ABK, both the programs are going to be through online mode, and that Aao Baatein Kare program is going to start in the month of October. So I repeat, we are going to start with the second batch in the month of October. You can see the contact detail, you can have the screenshot, or please share with the needy people who actually can get benefit from these programs. We are going to have another program in this year itself. Now you can move the slide, and this program is CRE, that every year our college conducts CRE program. This program is exclusively for rehabilitation professionals, especially those who are teaching in special schools or inclusive setup, those who are qualified in special education, and they are either working in a private sector or government sector, or they are having their private work. So they are, eligible to join this program, and the dates are going to be 27 to 29th October. And the theme of this program is assessment and diagnosis of SLD. The SLD is specific learning disability. So this is the theme that we are going to have this time. But this CRE is having a uniqueness, and what is the uniqueness of this time? This CRE is that it is going to be cross-country. It is going to have cross-country perspective. Means various professionals from other countries also they will be joining us as a resource person, and they will be sharing their knowledge and experiences what they are having in their country. So this is the uniqueness of this program. So this is specifically for the rehabilitation professionals. Those who are having that background, they have an opportunity to join this program. The intake that we are going to have this time is 200 participants, and fees is going to be 600. So you can, for that purpose also, you can contact us and get more details. And if you are interested, you can get yourself registered. So yeah, so that's what about 3 events that we are going to have in our college. That's the upcoming event. Now,
I think connectivity is.
I'm sorry, I got disconnected. This issue, I'm sorry. So I just continue. So yeah, everyone, we are now toward the closer of today's webinar. So I again request everyone to please fill the feedback form. The link has been already shared in the chat box. Your inputs are very much valuable for us. So don't miss to fill the feedback form. Ensure that you should fill it and submit it. Okay, so now I would request to Dr. Gayatri Shirur. Dr. Gayatri, if you are available here.
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. So now I'd request Dr. Gayatri Shirur, Associate Professor and Vice Principal of Harsh Advani College of Special Education. Ma'am, please convey vote of thanks with all of us. Over to GS, ma'am.
Thank you, Poonam Mishra ma'am. Dr. Sarika Sawant, each time we hear you, you impress us more and more. And that was simply superb, enlightening, and very, very informative session. You indeed have filled, numerous ideas in our minds and clarified many hidden aspects about rather making our research work more visible. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation, ma'am. And we hope that we will get to hear you more and more. I ought to congratulate and express gratitude towards the organizing committee for perfectly executing such a phenomenal webinar. Thanks to CCYM and thanks to our principal, Dr. Asmita Huddar, who's also the chairperson of organizing committee, for the constant guidance. And ma'am, you're our true inspiration. I also would like to thank Ms. Sandhya Pagare, who's the convener of this organizing committee. Ms. Sandhya is actually who conceptualized this webinar. Thank you, Sandhya. And of course, her great support, Ms. Nisha Kutty, she's the co-convener. And thanks, Nisha, for the solid and constant support you gave for this webinar. HACSC team, Ms. Poonam Mishra, thank you for the great being a great compare, and Dr. Kulkarni and Dr. Amit Mishal for showing your immense involvement in this webinar. HACSC's pride, our students and our alumni. Thank you, and thank you for the solid support and for being there very enthusiastically in our each and every activity. We love you. And of course, last but not the least, the wonderful participants for showing so much enthusiasm in attending this and your unwavering attention throughout the session. Lastly, I would like to end saying that let's make a promise to ourselves by saying that yes, we will make our research more visible, and let's make a promise to Dr. Sarika Sawant, a smallish Guru Dakshina, I think we can give it to her, that yes, we will try to make our research more visible. As we always end, keeping our energy levels very high and appreciating for all those who have really, really worked hard. So this hip hip hooray is going to be for Miss Sandhya Pagare and for Miss Nisha Putti. Please say after me. You can unmute yourself and show your appreciation. Hip hip.
Hooray.
Hip hip.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Hip hip.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Chalo, bye-bye. See you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gayatri Shirur, for sharing such a kind word with all of us. Now we are at the end stage of today's national webinar, on which the theme was making research visible. I have a request to all of you now, and today is a very special day because we do have many workshops and seminars, but today is a special day because we are having this seminar on a very auspicious occasion, that is the National Librarian Day. So it is our to first of all switch on your video, please. And now I would request everyone to please stand, if possible, please stand at your place, and let's give together a standing ovation to Dr. S.R. Ranganathan for his great contribution in our lives. Let's all together give a round of applause to all our beloved librarians who really put hard effort to enrich our learning every single day. Let's all together clap for all of them. You can unmute yourself. All of you can unmute yourself, and please give a clap for everyone, for all the librarians, those who are really putting in hard in our life to make our learning more easy and accessible.
Please enter airway bill.
Thank you so much, everyone. I would request everyone to please keep your video on so that our volunteers can have a group photo. It just takes few minutes to click the photos, and once volunteers, you are done with the photo, let us know that you are done.
Meanwhile, I'm sorry that I have to mention that thank you, Ajinkya, our alumni, for being here with us and helping us out, and thank Shefali. I mean, I'm sorry, I just miss, their names. I'm really
Thank you
sorry.
so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And Joella,
I once again, on behalf of everyone, congratulate to all the librarians on this auspicious day. Please keep your video on. So we are done with the photographs, Shefali. We are done?
yes, yes.
Yeah, so finally now we are at the end of this program. Thank you so much, everyone, for giving us time and having patience to be a part of this program. And now, with the permission of our principal, Dr. Hudan, and of course with our organizing team, I would now like to announce the final close of this meeting and request to host to please end the meeting for all. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you so much, everyone.
You all. Have a great evening.